Hello, everyone, and welcome to uh, GatherVerse She Summit 2025. I'm Sid Howard, and I'll be hosting today's Fireside Chat on courage when the world says no. Find a way to say yes with our guest speaker, Rosario B. Casas, as we will be discussing the power of resilience and how we continue to press forward in the face of adversity. Rosario, welcome. Would you introduce
Thank,
yourself?
thank you. Happy to be here and thank you for the invitation and for all the event. It's challenging not to be at the first conversation of the day because after all these amazing conversations,
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel you. And again, thank you so much for joining us. And would you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and why did you join Gatherverse?
well, that's a big question. Okay, I'm Rosario Vicasas, proudly Colombian, eh, working globally from the US mostly, and I love to say that I'm a Latinapreneur.
Mm,
And I use that word because of two things. One is because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the co-founder of BC Partners Tech, a software fabric working with data. Uh, XR Americas, an immersive reality software company, and the Brooklyn to Bogota, a free program to train small business owners on digital transformation and growth mindset. So I say an entrepreneur, but I'm also I have the Latina spirit, and I will use that because sometimes, uh, and that way I will connect with what you we are talking about. When you are not raised and grow up in a place where you are already connected with the global economy, you need to learn how to use your skills and to train your skills in a different way. I'm also an advisory board member for organizations like South by Southwest, Pitch, and I'm a mentor at organizations like Founder Institute, Women.nyc, and NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center. And I am a TED Talk speaker. And why I love to be part of GatherVerse, because I really think that since the first day, since day zero, Chris created a space where we are really trying or working to connect people from different places of the world, from different backgrounds, who are using technology to build humanity first. And I think every time we have a GatherVerse event, hearing and learning and understanding what is happening in the other corners of the world, in a world where attention is very scarce, is a very important thing. It's like obtaining a PhD every time on what is happening in the world with technology and who is doing what to create bridges and connect technology for good.
Thank you so much, Rosario, for giving us your background and telling us about who you are in this vast scheme of things. And wow, wow, you have a lot under your belt, as well as I love how you're connecting your roots and identifying yourself as a Latinpreneur and really spearheading that and using your identity to synthesize what you do. So thank you so much for giving us that. And first and foremost, I want to personally ask you, how do you do it?
well, well,
How do you do
I have two
it?
tricks, two real tricks. The first one is I come from a family of very strong and self-driven women. So it's like my mother, my grandmother, my aunts, my sisters, my even my nephew already. They are self-driven. They are looking for being impactful. And the reality is, I learned that from my grandmother and my mother in a direct way. If you know what you want to impact, how you want to live the world better tomorrow for tomorrow, it is easier to have the energy to do anything. And the second thing is being able to be sure that you open spaces for things that are worth it. Sometimes the world is telling us you need to make money. That's not a profitable business. And I will take some things from the past panel because it was very inspiring for me to feel that that's a thing. Sometimes you are saying no to some things because you think, no, that's not necessarily a good business. With our incubator, with Brooklyn to Bogota program, is free for the small business owners because we know that small business owners doesn't have the money for that. We may say no because it's not profitable, or make no because we need to make money or because we need to have more time. But the reality is that if we don't do it, uh, we are like leaving a space for problems for others. So if we can add value, let's try to find a way to do it. And that's the philosophy. Maybe I do more than I should, but I work with excellence as an obsession. So I try to everything as well as I can.
Thank you so much for that. And I love how you really pick things up in terms of how to continue to channel and integrate, especially your upbringing in valuing strong women, spearheading things forward, and finding mentoring of women to find that delicate balance between financial prosperity and again borrowing from the previous panel, our values and how can we bring those together to make a holistic and better and profitable society and business that we can innovate and propel our humanity forward. So thank you so much for that. And when we come to find ourselves dealing and struggling with not only that, but with those fears of failing
Hmm.
and with all of that comes with those fears of failing and struggling to even know where to begin to maintain that balance to begin with. What experience have taught you the meaning of courage when faced with rejection? And how do you stay focused on your goals despite such setbacks?
Wow, that's a great question. Well, I will start by by the end of the question. What keeps me with the eyes on the mission or the purpose? Basically, knowing what I want to do, knowing the type of world that I want to see, knowing how it is possible to build together when you create community. Because I saw it from my grandmother, for example. She was a teacher, a school teacher, and she was changing lives. I'm still meeting some people sometimes who are telling me, "I can't believe she was your grandmother. She changed my life. She opened the doors for me." So sometimes we are the ones telling ourselves that what we are doing is not enough. But if we can change one life, that's already a big mission. That's already a big change that we are making. So that's the way to keep the track, keep on track. And one of the moments, well, I had too many, but one of those that showed me that courage and resilience were important was when I started in technology. I entered in the technology world not because I have a technical background, but I arrived into this world because of being a great manager. And but I became in love with technology. I was like, okay, I arrived here because of the managing skills, but I really want to be a developer. I want to learn how to build technology. I want to be in the side that is building and making the things, so we can be sure that, for example, when we are building an application, we are not leaving people behind. And At that first moment, I wasn't a technical founder when I started, of course. I already can say I'm a technical founder because I already had 10 years working on this. But when I started, I received a lot of uh, let's say, answers or comments in meetings, for example, with prospective investors, with prospective clients who were telling me, hey, but you are not an engineer, or hey, but you don't have technical background, or you are not trained for this. And the first time that I received that answer, and I remember very well who was the person who told me and where, because that moment triggered in me the like I was completely angry after that video. I was like super angry. And then I was thinking, I can't be angry because he decided what I cannot be. But I really want to be that. So it's on my side, it's on my end to make it possible. And that's how I started. And that day I applied to a scholarship and started developing. I mean, it was a long road, but I was the one deciding it. So I think that role, playing that role, is important.
Mm. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I resonate so much with what you said. I too had a grandmother who said, keep pushing and having that rock, that foundation as well as other women in the family. So I resonate with that. And thank you so much for sharing that instance when, you know, you were told no. And it's like, well, I'll show you. And
Yeah,
more like,
that's a
I was,
no can be an opportunity to innovate and find other paths.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. And as someone who started off with not having a technical background myself, I said, I want to learn. I want to know. I want to know what's going on. As we can see, the future is going to be tech, whether we like it or not.
Mhm.
And we have to continue forward and learn as much as I can. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And it really does relate to our next question as what actions do you think we can all take to turn those obstacles as opportunities? And you said a little bit about that in our previous question when you said that uh, you wanted to just literally take the bull by the horns and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to learn. I'm going to grow. I'm going to get as much into tech as I possibly can and learn. And so, what are other values and what all that you've learned when, additionally, when taking that opportunity and saying, you say no, I say yes.
I will say like four things. One is leveraging the power of community and collaboration. You will never know everything, no matter how smart you are. So think on how to build a community where you are connected with smart people, with talented people, with people who is better than you in anything. They are kind. They are more kind than you. They are nicer than you. They are smarter than you. They are whatever. Because that's the best way. Being part of a network is and community is an amazing thing. Uh, Understanding that change and uncertainty is a reality, and learning how to adapt is the second one that I will say. Of course, everything is changing very quick, and at that time I was like, I will need to adapt, so I will need to learn how to be able to open and change. Third, understanding that the process needs to be celebrated, not just the outcome, because sometimes we can get frustrated but not being yet at the end of the results, but the progress is already keeping us going and advancing. Uh, for sure, being aligned with your why, your purpose, your mission, why you are doing this, to change what, to improve what. And at the end I will say, um, the fifth will be for me like understanding that those no's that I said could be the door for a new path, could be a big opportunity for you to understand or learn from words that you don't know, and work on converting those no's in a resounding yes.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for that. I love when you said the why. Find your why. Find your build your community. And thirdly, really have that time to explore and to learn. Thank you so much. As we are heading into our end of time, I will combine our last question, which is how can communities help women turn rejection into success, especially for those feeling that sense of worthlessness and that reoccurrence of what we as women come to have so familiarity of as imposter syndrome. And what advice would you give to someone feeling stuck and discouraged?
Hi, I love that. The answer is longer. It will take longer than we have the time. So I will say first thing is, sometimes we are very bad asking for support. There are free courses, there are free trainings, there are free support organizations, communities, and sometimes we are afraid of being included because we feel that maybe we don't have the knowledge, or that if we ask for the support, we are we are telling them I'm not enough. So break that. Uh, be sure that we will be learning new things for the rest of our lives, because the world is changing and we will be learning things from scratch every day, no matter the age we are. So breaking that perception of, that is bad to show that we don't know something, and embracing that moment of, hey, I don't know anything about that and I need to learn from you. And finding for mentors. As a mentor, and I'm a very committed mentor, mentorship should be always free. So there are a lot of organizations with, my time is allocated in many places where people can just schedule time with me for free. But sometimes those times are not allocated, are not scheduled by the people, by the women. And I always think the time is there. I will be happy to see you grow. Use those spaces. And I'm sure I'm not the only one doing those things. So take advantage of the spaces that exist. That will be my, and ask for support. The worst thing that could happen is that the other person could not give you the support at that moment, but you are there already. You don't have that support yet. So a no in that case is nothing wrong.
Oh, thank you so much. Unfortunately, we are out of time. It's great conversation with you. And I love that as the world is changing, we are learning to adapt. So thank you so much as we embrace those words of wisdom that you have shared with us moving forward. Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Rosario, for joining us. And to everyone watching, please be sure to follow and connect with Rosario on her social media handles. And again, let us all continue the conversation moving forward. This concludes our fireside chat. And until next time, may our gather be well. Back to you, GatherVerse team.
Thank you.
Bye.